Better take him up.
Should I count you in? 5, 4.
It's too many. I'm not patient enough. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. It's Joe Gatto and my friend,
Steve Byrne.
and you're listening to Two Cool Moms. Thank you for having us in your earlobes. Steve, when
It's an earlobe, though.
yeah, I know.
Eardrum?
It's called comedy. When I think of
So we're starting?
someone who I just can't stand to be sitting across from,
Awesome.
because they just throw sports themes in my face with all their sports, like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
I decided to wear my own Pittsburgh colors, and this is my jersey of love. It's with dogs, and these are my two favorite dogs. It's almost match your colors,
Okay.
white and Goldens. This is Spumoni and Biscotti.
Spumoni and Biscotti.
Yes,
Biscotti, the brown one?
white one, Spumoni.
Spumoni. That's probably the cutest dog I've ever seen in my life.
Which was Spumoni?
Yeah.
You met Spumoni in real life.
Yes, but it's like symmetrically a perfect, like if you were a cartoonist, that's how you would draw it.
That's exactly
It's
right.
like that looks like a perfect dog.
You know what? I appreciate that. She is,
Yeah.
and I just
Why is Spumoni the favorite of all of them?
Well, don't tell Biscotti. Let me cover her ears.
Okay.
Biscotti
Biscotti looks a little high maintenance.
It goes back and forth between them. It's
Really?
good. Yeah. It goes back and forth. Biscotti's my first rescue, but Spumoni I found on the road in Vegas, and I adopted her on the road. So
On the road.
On the road. So
You flew her back with
Flew
you.
her back with me. Took her to multiple states. Vegas was our first stop. Then went to Arizona, and then went to California.
That's weird. And then did she just glum onto you pretty
Glummed
quickly?
on me right away. Because
Really?
I'm very glummable. I don't know if you've noticed this, and you use word glums. Isn't glum mean that you're in a bad mood? Glum. Things are glum.
I think no, you
No,
latch
it's
on.
might have multiple.
Oh, you could be
purposes.
glum. Yeah.
You could be glum, but you're very glummable. Is that a word? No.
You made that up.
She glums onto you. You said glums.
Did
She
I say that?
Yeah, didn't you?
She glummed onto you?
Glummed onto you.
I don't know. You know what I mean, though.
Where
right?
am I?
It's like glum on you is the earlobe of eardrums.
Exactly right, and
Yes.
that's why we're here, because we're here to talk to each other about how much we love each other, Stevie. Name your top 3 favorite qualities about me.
Name the top 3.
Go rapid fire. I don't want long-winded answers. Boom.
Blunt.
Blunt.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Oh, third. Ready? Fun.
Fun. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
My turn. I will say.
Oh, no.
I will say. How are you saying? No, they're my 3 favorite things about you.
Okay.
Punctual. No, I will say this. I will say sincere.
Okay.
I will say lovable, and I will say a good time friend.
There we go.
There you go.
Cheers to that.
There we go. Cheers, my friend. Here we
Okay.
go. All right.
Now,
3 worst things.
2 pet peeves.
Yeah, 2 pet peeves. 1.
pet peeves.
You punctual?
I was here today on time.
Yeah, but the problem was you're supposed to be here yesterday. You can't say that you were supposed to be here. I was here today on time when you missed a whole day. You missed a full day, and then you're like, I was here at 9:03. Humble brag. Oh, you
Well, that is true.
Oh,
that is
so
true.
funny. Were you late for school a lot when you were a kid?
I was. I guess I was okay. I here's what I'll say. Like, yeah, to a degree.
To
a degree,
normally, yeah.
I'm pretty regimented and making sure I'm,
you
punctual. I'm usually pretty on the mark. But I'll tell you, when it comes to like stand up, when it comes to like getting to work on time, like if your show's at 7,
Yeah.
you'll get there at 6:30, right? If the show's at 7, I know the opener's going to do 10. The feature's going to do 15, so 7:25 really. So I would love to roll in at 7:23.
Great, walking in the
That's
door.
like
Yeah.
my
can't
dream
do it.
thing is to just walk in. They go, and you ready? I go, yeah. They go, and now, ladies and gentlemen, please. That's my favorite.
curves
That
get
is
peer
the
back.
best when I time it out perfectly.
Yeah. I didn't.
You're very punctual though.
I'm pretty punctual, yeah. I have this thing with the kids where they sleep in the morning, and Bessie won't let me wake them up if they're sleeping. And she said something to me, which is very stuck with me. I said, they have to get up, they have to go to school. She goes, they have their whole life to be woken up. And I was like, oh, wow. She was like, who cares if they missed the Pledge of Allegiance? And she's like, and I was like, wow, you terrorist. But no, it's like, isn't that it's so
That's
true?
such
Like,
a
you don't
great.
think about it, you know?
Wow, what a cool mom.
Yeah, is that she's like, yeah, she's like, so what? She's like, they missed 5 minutes of school, whatever. But then like my son started like pushing it, and he was like waking up at like 9 o'clock. I'm like, Bessie, we got to start. Can we find a middle ground? Can I like nudge him at 8:45? The kids go to bed at 8 p.m. Like, he's a bear. But I thought that was very thing. Like I came from a house that you got up for school. My mom was a school secretary where I went to school,
then, yeah.
so she had to drive me. I had to go with her early. Like, it was so annoying. Yeah. So like that was tough, but I think I've been a little bit punctual in my own time, and I'm trying to put that on my kids. But it's a valid point. You spend your whole life waking up.
Yeah, but look, anybody that owns 30 watches should be punctual.
That's true. That's very true. I wouldn't know. I have 60.
60?
Yeah, 64. I just counted them the other day because Remo asked me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have 64.
Okay, we know who your favorite dog is, favorite watch, and why.
My favorite watch and watch, probably my Panerai that I got, my first one. It was my first like big boy watch. I got it as a gift for the 100th episode of Impractical Jokers.
So a gift for yourself.
No, they gave it to us.
Oh, they did.
And then tied for that is the other Panerai I have that I got when I was in LA. I visited it in a shop. I saw it in the shop. I was with Q. And I said, "Oh, I'm gonna get this." And I was like, I called Bessie, and she was pregnant with Remo, and she was like, "You have another child coming in 4 months. You can't be getting this."
Right.
I was like, all right. And then we got the movie. I went back to LA for meetings. We had gotten the movie, and I went by the window, and it was still there. And I said, "I'm gonna get this watch now." And so I was like, "Congratulations
with the movie?
to myself with the movie."
Oh, that's great.
So that was it. Yeah, I like that. I like those. I don't have my dad's watch, which I'm annoyed about thinking about it. I don't have.
You gonna dig it up?
No, I probably got to go 6 feet into Moravian Cemetery and just go in and get them.
You got to get a shovel and a friend with a
get
secret.
shovel, yeah.
I'll help you out.
You have a lantern? I would dig somebody up.
Dude, oh my God, Joseph. Did he wear it?
No, he didn't wear. He wore this. This is my dad's. This is the J. That was my father's.
Really?
So he wore this. Yeah,
where's
I
the
took this
watch
off
then?
his dead body.
Joseph.
I did. He was dead. They pronounced him dead. It's the first thing I grabbed.
Oh my God.
My mom got his wallet, and I got his. J. And that's true. That's true. They were like, "Oh, how's his name?" I'm like, "Oh, I better get his wallet." I'm like, "I'm taking his J," and he was still warm.
Sure.
Still warm. Yeah, that's that. My dad wore this. This was a gift from my mom, his wife, for their, I think their maybe 15th wedding anniversary or something. And he
Right.
always wore it growing up. I knew it. Like,
Oh, that's great.
So now I have that. And then my Remo asked me if that's going to be when I die. Is that going to be his? And I said, yeah, but your name starts with a J. And I said, if Milana has a son and she names him Joe, it goes to her. I said that's it. I said, he could have it. My grandson. I was like, but I'm also still alive, so why don't you just back it up, buddy? Pretty sure it's gold plated too. I don't think it's real.
But like when you're, when Bessie's saying, "Hey, you have a second kid coming, let's temper it." Like that's the sign of a great mom, right? So like my wife, when Sullivan's son got picked up, my daughter had just been born, and we needed a second car. We needed a car in Los Angeles.
Yep.
So I come home with a God, what the hell is it called? A Dodge Challenger. I come home with a Dodge Challenger, and she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You have a baby?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, I got a baby," because it's like a 2-seater.
Yeah.
And then there's like a very small third seat. And I'm like, "Well, she's tiny. We'll just throw it in there." She's like,
car seat won't even
"You
fit
got a fucking sports car, and you just your daughter's like 3 weeks old." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I got the show. It's like this is kind of cool." She's like, "It's not cool. It's not practical. It's not smart."
Yeah.
And she was not happy at all. But
Did you keep it or did you?
I kept
swap it
it,
out?
and it recently, I ran that thing into the ground. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I ran it into the ground. I was hoping to save it for like Livy or Kent when they get a little older. We are going to have it as a third car, but
Yeah.
I that engine just went. Bye.
Well, that's because you're ripping around with your.
Yeah, I'm not a car guy at all, but I went to just this lot and I saw the Challenger, and I was like, "Wow, that
Just
looks
spoke to you.
That looks cool." Yeah, and I've never had a car like that. I never will again since.
Right. So I'm glad you did it.
I did it. I had fun. It was super cool. But,
I used to borrow my mom's. My mom had the Mercedes SLK, which is the two-seater hard-topped Mercedes convertible. And she used to go down to Atlantic City with her boyfriends, and I would borrow her car for the weekend. And I'd
really?
Walk around New York. I remember very vividly a memory of my mother. She had never been through Times Square at night, and we had dinner at Bella Vita.
with the top down.
And I took down the top, and we drove through. And then we were driving with the top down through Times Square, and she's like looking up everything, and she's like, "This is so awesome." She was like, "This is great. I've never done this. I'm so happy that we're doing this." And she's like, all like cute and like teary-eyed.
Oh.
And then she turns left, and there's a homeless man pissing. And she goes, "And this fucking guy's got to ruin everything."
It's great.
She was just taking it all in. It was like, oh, she's like, oh, look, it was a movie. It was so funny.
That's a Gatto memory.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
that's
it's
a great
core
memory.
Yeah, it's funny. I couldn't believe she had never been like in Times Square like at night, but then like she never really went into the city, especially not with the convertible at the top down kind of thing, you know. So it was kind of.
But it's also Staten Island. It's like you're almost like a world away. It's like, why would you leave when you have everything right?
Yeah, and it's what she's not going to go into the city by herself. She doesn't know. I remember she didn't. We took her to it was her 60th birthday, I think, and me and my sisters wanted to take her somewhere. So we're taking her somewhere in the city, and and she was like, I'm like, come on, we're going to go on the subway. And she goes, what? And she's like, all right, stay close. And she was like, hugged me like she was holding on to me. It was so funny to take her. I'm like, Mom, she's just the subway. And she was like, no, she was like scared to death of the subway.
She's a New Yorker.
Yeah, I know. I was like, she's some badass New Yorker.
Yeah.
But something about the subway, she's like, I don't trust it. You're underground. like that's how a subway works, Mom.
My father used to come up to New York City all the time because he would, he had a fish store. So he'd have to come up into the whatever
The market, yeah.
the market, and he would buy the fish in the morning. Every day he'd leave at 4 a.m. To be back at the fish store in Rahway, New Jersey. And on occasion I'd come up with him, and every time I come to New York, at least the first few times, like especially when I was like first moved here, I just always associate New York with the smell of cooking pretzels. Because back in like the 80s,
They were baking them, yeah,
they were
right,
baking and so I would smell it. It was almost to the point where it was like burning the pretzels, but it just smelled so good. And I'd always, can I get a pretzel? And you're a kid, you're like, wow, that's the best.
That is ingrained in the nostrils of kids who grew up in our time
Yeah.
in New York, like Radio City, walking by, and the peanuts and the pretzel stands.
Oh,
being
yeah.
that, like they were also like the heaters of the street, Like,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
That for sure is definitely a smell of Manhattan.
But that was before it was dogs, pretzels, peanuts. And now it's all like kebabs. and-
Baba Ganoush,
Yeah, totally different. But still, they still have pretzels.
but different smells.
Yeah. It's not
No, it's not a good. It's not as good as smell.
it's not like clean and American.
No, it's not. You
It's
know what?
ethnic
That's
and
what we were talking about earlier about this wall.
Build
What
it.
we're saying. Remember what we were saying offline? I think
You gotta build the wall. Build it now.
we gotta keep our pretzels safe. We were like, it's because it's too many different smells. Not even about the food, right? Like it all mixes together. Of like it just used to be pretzels, peanuts, hot dog. That's what you would smell. But now there's so many different food trucks. There's pizza trucks and whatever,
Sushi
Right.
and-
There's all this stuff. It's crazy. And like this, you walk down the street, it's like restaurants on the street.
It's great to have the selection, but I do miss the fact that it was just the greatest hits.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Greatest hits back in the day.
That's it. It's the VIP menu. Yeah.
But there's nothing better than a tasty freeze, the soft serve,
Yeah.
those trucks.
Yeah, I hate them.
You hate?
Yeah.
Ice cream, that's right, yeah.
But you know what? The food truck really came on like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? Out of nowhere. Beep,
greatest.
beep, back that up. Here we go. Food trucks came out of nowhere, right? They were all up in the parking lot. They're like, ready, go. And people selling shit, throwing money at you. Remember that? Out of nowhere. You're buying food. It's a mobile restaurant. It's crazy.
Yes.
Well, who thought of the first food truck? Do we know that, Jiggy? Who thought? What was the first food truck? Like straight up food truck? Because like I
But
would.
Roy Choi is the one that reinvigorated it out of Los Angeles. Remember with
Of course, Roy Choi.
well, Kogi.
Yeah.
That was his thing, and then that started the whole food truck scene in Los Angeles. And then Roy Favreau did Chef based off of.
Yeah, but that was, I mean, that's based off of, but what do you got? Jiggy's got something.
I just immediately want to do this. 1936 was the first food truck, and it was called the Wienermobile, and it was for Oscar Mayer.
Myers started it.
Yeah,
you
it was
go.
the first food truck.
Not Roy Choi. Oscar.
No, I said Roy Choi
Mayer.
reinvigorated it.
Reinvigorated
'Cause
it
it was-
he got his wiener going. He got his wiener game going. He reinvigorated the wiener.
But you would
yeah,
think
but they look
that,
like it looks like a covered wagon from like the 1800s.
Yeah.
you think that they would take ownership of that and be like, we should do that and set those up in major markets.
I would like the Oscar Mayer.
We're the
Then-
first food truck.
the Oscar Mayer, the Wiener truck became a thing of like, what do you call it though, right? It's like a lore to it.
the Wienermobile?
The Wienermobile, right? It became a thing.
Yeah.
They just had it in Times Square. I forgot what I was doing something. And I walked by and it was down there. And I was like, oh my God, the Wienermobile is in here. It became like a promotional tool, not like a operating food truck. I wonder, like...
When's the last time you had a hot dog?
I eat veggie dogs.
That's not the same,
Gardening is... Well, for me, hot dogs are all about the toppings. I have all the great toppings on it.
No,
for me, it is,
No.
Don't tell me what's for me and what's not for me.
Okay, I won't.
But what's for you? Why? You think it's about the taste of the beef in your mouth?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. It's like saying a French fry is a French fry. It's just the ketchup.
I would never.
McDonald's
say
is
that.
the French fry.
I would never say that.
Well, that's what you're saying to me.
That's I would.
It's all about the toppings, your condiments.
Listen, if you don't like what I'm saying, stand up so I can hear you when you're talking out of your ass. Because there's not anything. This conversation's not going anywhere. What I'm telling you is, hot dogs are known for the topping. What are the toppings on your hot dog? It's always consistent. It's the same thing. You never switch it up. You never switch it up. Your hot dog toppings are your hot dog toppings. That's what you're eating.
What's your toppings?
Mine? I have the big four: relish, sauerkraut, ketchup, mustard.
Ketchup, mustard. You mix them up.
Mix them up. I ain't
Really?
afraid to mix it up.
Disgusting.
Okay, what's yours? Let me
Mustard.
guess. Let me guess.
Mustard. That's
Soy
it.
sauce. Roy Choi, right? You're like, I do a little bit of edamame bean. Okay, what do you do?
Mustard.
Straight mustard.
It's got to be charred. Charred. I like a charred dog.
Char dog.
Yeah. I don't like a boiled dog.
No. You gotta char it up.
Char it.
Char Binks. Me so hungry. Mr. Want a hot dog. Mr. Ice Cream Wiener. Woo.
Sorry. All right. What? By the way, we said we're not going to talk about food,
this is
and then
not
we
about
talk
food.
about it. But then because we always talk about food on the podcast because we haven't eaten yet. We've already eaten.
I know, we just ate. No, but now we're talking about your perception of food. This is different for me because this is why it's not about for you for the toppings because you have topping. You have mustard.
I have mustard.
You might as well just have a scoop of mustard. You're eating a hot dog. It's the same difference for you. Yeah.
Sure.
Now for me, it's about like the cornucopia of topping.
You cannot tell me though, a veggie dog is even comparable to a real hot dog.
I will say that if you take me out to the bowl game, you gotta go for a regular. You can't be taking a hot dog, But I never really did a hot dog as much as I did a burger. I was more of a burger than a dog guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I love hot dogs. Hot dogs are my favorite.
Just kidding.
Here he goes. From the booth, he's got more.
One of my favorite stories about Joe is we went to a Cubs game. He doesn't watch baseball.
Yeah.
We went to the Cubs game. We weren't even inside the ballpark, and he had 400 different snacks. I mean, there's ice cream, there's peanuts, there's everything, like everything in the box. And he's eating all this stuff, and then he looks at me, and he goes, "What's that guy doing standing on the field?" I'm like, "That's the first base coach."
Like, how do you get down there?
He's so funny.
Do you ever go to a sporting event where you're like, I'm invested in this? Has there been a sporting event you went to where you're like, I'm into the stakes. I want to see X win over Y?
Yeah, I did go to a Knicks game for Christmas one year. I got my nephew Anthony courtside tickets for a game. So we went, and it was a great game. And you felt like you were like in the action. We were like sitting right there.
Right.
And it was a close game. So I felt that for sure. Super Bowls, I get into it. I get into it when I'm watching Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And it's coming down to it. I really get into it then because there's food around. Yeah, those I would mean. I mean, there was a soccer game I played once that I was really invested in. I was the goalie. I remember that one.
How many goals do you let in?
I was pretty good at stopping balls. I was pretty good. But then they had this, we were playing St. Rock's, which is the other one, and they had this one kid in this school. I wish I could remember his name because this is like the third or fourth story I've told of him recently. But he was like, he got left back a couple times, clearly. Like he was this huge, like
Lombardo Giambrini.
Yeah, we're in 8th grade and he's got like pubes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's like one of those guys, right?
He had a mustache in 8th grade.
Yeah, he drove himself to the game with a cigarette. Like, like one of those. So we're at the game and he's like charging down and we're tied. Mm-hmm. And he's coming charging down open field by himself, and I'm standing there, and I'm just waiting for him to and he kicked it so hard that he hit me, and I went back into the goal
With it?
with it, boom, he got really close, did a wall. He had a full second to wind up. Nobody was near him. The defense fell apart.
Right.
He was by himself, and he did a full stop, boom, and kick it. Yeah, real.
Yeah.
And it hit me so hard that I fell back into the goal, and the ball went right in with me.
Your team's just like, he got it, Joe. Oh,
He's like, he
mother.
stopped. I stopped it. It hit me, but I didn't do anything.
But you kept going.
Yes, it started with me. Yeah, I remember that game. That was rough. I stopped being goalie after that game. I was like,
What was the last time you did?
You can't not. You can't
Hold on.
picture me doing
I got a
sport
great question
that
for
Go ahead.
you. When is the last time you've done anything athletic?
Last time I did anything athletic, I went swimming. That doesn't really count.
Okay, that doesn't count.
I
And
floated.
bowling does not count.
Okay, so something athletic,
Like athletic.
like you mean got to run on? Let's see.
I think bowling is a skill for sure.
I just did a charity softball game. I did a charity softball game, and I made a hit and ran to first place.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. I got tagged out by Paul Rudd, but I still made it. I made it to the base. But I will say the first out of the game. So you know how these charity games are. There's 900 people. It's in Kansas City. It's for Big Slick, which was a great weekend, and it benefits the Children's Mercy Hospital out there, and helps all these kids with cancer. So they have a big event all weekend, and one of the things is a charity softball game. So I was talking to Eric Stone Street and Paul Rudd, and I was like, "Do I have to play?" And they're like, "No, you don't play." Everybody stands out there, and you just go. I was like, "All right." So we stand out there. So I end up being in between. What's between third and second? Shortstop. So I'm shortstop adjacent. I'm closer to second. There's 3 people by us.
Sure.
The first hit of the game, I forget who it is. Somebody hits it, and we're playing defense, and it comes right to me. And I'm like, all right, and I stop. I get it, and I'm like, now I have to throw to first base. Do you know how far that is? And I'm like, oh, all right. And I throw it as hard as I can, and it takes 4 bounces to get to the first baseman, and I still got the out. Did
you really?
I did, yeah. But it was still 4. I was like, how do people throw that far? Yeah, I threw my
Joy
whole arm
Behar
back
batting?
out.
How did?
Yeah, it was. We were none of us were really athletes. It was like a charity game. You know?
Yeah.
I forget who it was. So I threw and I threw my arm. I threw my arm out. I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
And then when it was our turn to go up, I batted first. They had me up first, and I was like, "This is a mistake." I was like, "I can't go first. I'm making a fool of myself. I can't go first."
Yeah.
And I went, and I just sat there, and I swung and missed hard on the first one, and then the second one I connected really well, and I got thrown out though. But it was fun. I ran full speed. That's the last time I ran full speed.
Last time I did this. I did a charity for. Oh, I'm wearing the jersey for Troy Polamalu, where he did the resilience neighborhood where it's underserved communities in Pittsburgh and stuff. And so we're playing flag football. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. It's flag football. It's me and Billy Gardell and some folks from Pittsburgh. And I'm thinking, okay, this will be cool. I show up. Ben Roethlisberger's playing quarterback. James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, Hines Ward. Mike Tomlin's coaching. I'm like, what am I doing here? Billy and I are looking at each other like, this is ridiculous.
So it's basically a real football game.
It's a real football, and these guys are all competitors, and they want to compete. They're professional athletes for a reason. They want to win. So I remember I go out the first thing. Byron Leftwich, who's a great quarterback, is on quarterback, and I'm on offense. And James Harrison. Do you know who James Harrison is?
He's a guitar player, right, for the Beatles?
Okay.
Because that wouldn't make sense in this
We
story.
don't know each other. He is maybe 5'10", and he is 328 pounds of just pure muscle.
We're about the same.
I mean, he is just
Brick shit house, yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. And he's mean, and he lines up against Byrne. This is a charity flag football game. He goes, I ain't playing. I'm not here to play. And Left was like, yo, dude, just calm down. I have a picture. I'll send it to Jiggy. We'll put it up here. Yeah. He's telling him he's not playing. He's going to hurt him. And I'm literally going like this, praying to God. I'm like, oh my God, this is the first play of the game. So I sprint down. I make a route. He throws the ball to me. And as I go to catch it, I know I got to pivot down. So I'm sliding down to catch it. And as I do, I see Troy Polamalu running towards me. And I just let go of everything. And I just slide. And the ball hits me in the chest. And I played one route. And I was like, I'm done. I did it. I'm out of here. I don't need to tear an ACL playing with the. I mean, it was unbelievable to be against professional, but also to see Just we're not the same species.
No way.
They're
No way.
enormous human beings.
They are. The network had us play for something. It was me, Q, and we were on the same. We were on Boomer Esiason's team. It was Boomer Esiason's team and somebody else's, and it was a softball game. And Q is playing third, I think it was.
Who's the most athletic of all you guys, by the way? Would it be Q?
No.
Murr?
Well, Murr's pretty athletic. Yeah, Murr's probably in the best shape. Q's not bad either.
Yeah.
Sal played. Sal, out of all of us, Sal played the most sport. He was a hockey player throughout.
Oh, okay.
I think he didn't play in college. I think he stopped in high school, but he was athletic. I think we were all equally okay if we had in intramural, we'd all be okay.
Right.
When it came down to like a sports sport, I probably think it's between anybody but me. So we would we were playing we're playing this charity softball game, and somebody hits the ball, and we're not paying attention. Everybody's talking to each other in the field.
Sure.
So Boomer they hit the ball. Boomer's pitching, and it goes to Q, and he thinks it's a foul ball. So whatever, he just picks it up because he didn't realize it bounced in and then it rolled out. So he's like in right, like in between third base and right field.
Yeah.
So he picks it up and he's like, oh, and he just looks and he goes, let's throw it around the horn. And he throws it to the outfield, which basically that's not the horn, but it was fair. And Boomer goes, what are you doing? So he threw it to Murray, who was in center field. And Murray was like, oh, and Murray guns it in to try to get them. And the guy it was Al Roker. And he got like
cannot get Al Roker
He
out.
got it in the park home run because Q threw it around the horn, and Boomer, whatever, he's like, get your head out of your ass, like he yelled at him, and it was so funny. We were like, oh my god, and I was like, I'm not playing. I'm not playing this game, right? So I took the glove off and I just started going into the crowd, taking selfies, cheering, making fun. Like I was like, I'm not going to get yelled at. I don't know what I'm doing. It was so funny.
Yeah, when you compete, the thing, like when you get asked to do these like tournaments or sometimes like mixed with professional athletes and like quote unquote celebrities or whatever, it is
entertainers, comedians.
You don't realize it's like no, they spent their whole life competing. That's what they do. And I remember I played in this Mario Lemieux fantasy camp one year, and this one guy was kind of mouthing off a little bit, and Alex Kovalev, who is like one of the greatest hockey players in terms of just raw talent, incredible drummer, you'd love him. The pitter patter,
He's in the Killers.
nobody hit a cymbal like him. You could see he was just like, he was listening to the guy and he was watching him. He just go, and you could just see a switch go off. He goes, oh, okay. And I mean, this guy, before everybody was just playing with each other, they take it down a notch. Some guys like take it up a notch. And the people that take it up a notch got to get taught from the guys that take it down a notch. Like, I'm going to show you. And he like did this move where he just poked it off him and then he dangled around him and he was baiting him. And the guy's like, oh, I'm going to get it back. And he made him look like a total. It was great. And then one time I went in the corner to get the puck, and Mark Recchi, Hall of Fame hockey player for Boston, for Pittsburgh, great guy, fucking drilled me into the boards. I mean, straight up drilled me into the boards. And I think I made it sound like you.
Go.
And I just went
over
down.
to Steve Byrne. Go. And it's back to Gicky.
I'm on the ice, and I look, anytime you get hit, you look up, and it was Recchi. And I remember him laughing so fucking hard because he must have just been lining me up. He's like, I'm gonna, because you're not thinking you're gonna get drilled.
No way.
And I got housed.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I could. I was gonna try out for. I actually was quick and had hands in one of my high school years, so I was gonna try out to be a wide receiver on the football team. And I know it was funny to
By
think
the
of
way,
because you see
Jiggy
me
is
now.
already laughing at the thought of that.
Because you see what I look like now, but in high school I was quite slender and fast. I always had wheels, and I was two days before I got hit by a cop car.
Wait, what?
I got hit by a cop car, so I couldn't try out. And I was like, if there is ever a sign from God that you shouldn't be playing sports, he sends a police vehicle to mow me down in the neighborhood.
How'd you get hit by a cop car?
I don't know what part of that you don't understand. I was in the street and a car hit me and it was a cop car.
Were the lights on or anything? Or was he going somewhere?
No, he was just driving through the neighborhood.
Driving through the neighborhood.
Yeah, we were playing manhunt, and I ran out between bushes.
Oh,
and
I remember.
across the
You were in
street,
Charlottesville. Is that correct?
No.
During the white pride?
fact check it. Fact check
gotcha.
it.
Okay.
That's wrong. Let's get into the questions.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for submitting your query so we can help you because we clearly have it all together.
Of course.
Yeah, we're Two Cool Moms at Two Cool Moms Pod on Instagram, and of course the new Gmail account.
Yes. twocoolmomspod@gmail.com.
That's right.
Send us video submissions, all that stuff. We'll play it. We'll watch it. We'll integrate. We have so many more new things and technology.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
This is a velour.
This is nice.
This is very nice.
This is not a folding chair.
This isn't a folding chair. We stepped it up.
This is a budget.
Jiggy, take us away, Jiggy.
All right. So we have E, who hit us up on Instagram.
Just E?
E. How do you keep your head up and anxiety low when dealing with financial struggles? Times are tough out here, and it's really getting me down. It's hard not to think about it all the time and let it consume me. Any advice on how to cope?
I think you spend your money on the right things, like coming out to laugh at live comedy shows. Tickets on sale now, Joe Gatto, official.com, or Punch Up Live. I think that's the best way that you could really spend your money.
Yeah, that or recreational drugs, alcohol. Any of the things you shouldn't do when you're depressed actually make you feel better.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a healthy distraction.
I would say in seriousness, I think you need to. Finances are tough because they carry a lot of weight to them. Either, if worrying about how you can provide for yourself or your family, which is even harder too if you have other people. I think you got to try to conserve where you can. Yeah. Which is the biggest part of it for everybody. Try to conserve where you can. Like, try not to spend frivolously. That's the word. You know the word I meant. Try not to.
Can you
do
just
that.
go back and rewind and play that like 3 times in a row?
I would try not to spend that, but it is hard. There's no. I think you got to find comfort in it. It sucks for a lot of people now too, right? Though, like that's the thing.
Yeah. Well, inflation is. I mean, look. Anybody talk. Look, I had a bit about not going grocery shopping back in the day because like my wife will buy vegetables and I'll be like DiGiorno, and that's if I was in charge. But I go back home and I talk to my wife. She's like, our grocery bill is literally almost double than what it was just a few years ago.
Yeah. And
she was going through everything. I was like, holy shit, that's pretty crazy. I mean, because we're just always eating out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know, but I look, it's tough all around, I guess, for everybody, right? And Jiggy, you don't have money. We have money. What do you do? Like, what do you do?
Every stack starts with 1.
There you
Every
go.
stack starts with 1. That's great. Yeah, you are probably one of the most frugal guys I know, actually.
Yeah.
By that I mean cheaps.
How long have we all been torn? 2 years?
2 and more than 2 and a bit.
1 meal.
Yep, 1 meal. A breakfast too. A breakfast
1 meal
by my boy T-Rex. Let me get this one. Can't get it, guys.
Bill comes, just the fucking flippers. He's like a dolphin at SeaWorld.
Oh, got it. Yeah, we'll take for the table. Let's get the cheese platter. The thing, I guess, with any struggle, it's always good not to be or try to feel like the responsibility is solely on you and alone. So try to get help from your partner or your family, whoever, get a rich relative if you can, but more so like try not to be in the fight by yourself. Like hopefully try to instill with your family, like to think about, okay, how are we spending money? How can we save money? Mm-hmm. How can we make more money? Things like that. I think thinking about opportunities.
But it is that initial hole, right? There's that initial hole. Look, I went through something during COVID, right? COVID hit. Yeah. We don't tour. And then I had unfortunately
just bought a Dodge Challenger.
But I unfortunately had just done a documentary on The Amazing Jonathan, which I did out of pocket. And then I was on the opening act and I had to invest money into that to finish it because it was dragging out. And then on top of that, COVID is hitting and now I'm not working. So my savings just went, pew, just garbage. And so it was a great lesson in terms of like to your point, reprioritizing everything, getting down to the bare essentials. What is it I need to take care of? Where can I placate money? And you're doing the ball and the 3-cup game. And so I'm just shifting my priorities over here and building it all up. And ultimately just comes down to discipline. Yeah. It comes down to discipline and also a healthy mindset of saying, okay, this is the situation now, but if I work hard today on this will not be the situation 6 months from now. It won't be the situation 12 months from now. I'll be a little better off, and it starts with building a nest egg again, sure. and through hard work and discipline and a really prudent and patient wife, I definitely got there. So it took a while.
I think it's all about
I think it's about what I said.
Okay. That was great. But it was inspiring me to add to it.
Sorry. Please.
I would say I think it's all about hustle too, because we've all been there and
Yes.
broke, right? Too,
Yeah.
right? I was eating, sharing tuna fish cans, in my late 20s with my roommate
In
because we couldn't
Hollywood,
get it.
of all
Yeah, I
places,
know,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, living the dream. So I think it's like always. I mean, you're gonna have to. Your situation, you got to work hard to change it.
Yes.
And sometimes that's really hard to do, and hopefully you're able to, rally yourself enough to do it. But again, like with a partner, it's all easier. I don't know without, like, if you're in it by yourself, that's tough too. And I would say try not to fight any battle by yourself. Try to find either confidant, friend, somebody that can help you out, or even just to motivate you.
Because there's a lot more people that are in that situation that are not.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%, yeah.
So I think it's all about what you said.
I think it's about what we've said, because it's two cool moms, not one cool mom plus one. One cool mom, one okay mom.
Mathlete.
That's it, man. I got it. I could divide two.
Every now and then he comes out of the shadows. All right.
Next question comes from Kelly. Hit us
Skip.
up on the
No, I'm just kidding.
email.
Pass.
This is in the mommy to mommy category.
Oh, hot mommy on mommy action.
Mommy on mommy action.
Okay, scissor. Oh, sorry.
All right, so she says, "Hi, mommies. I became a mother in March to a beautiful baby girl. I'm struggling to find things to do during the day that are entertaining with a 3-month-old. I sit around a lot watching TV while she sits in her crib. I'm so bored. Any suggestions to help with the boredom or any ideas of things to do?"
Walk.
Yeah.
Throw the kid in a stroller and just get a walk.
Getting out of the house is the number one thing.
Yeah.
Number one thing, hands down. It changes everything. 3 months. And 3 months, you're at that spot now where you're about to be able to do that a little bit easier. Here's what I would do too. Bessie was so thought she was going to be a stroller mom. She wasn't. She became one of those carrier moms. And
Right.
having the baby on you when you're out gives you a sense of security because you know where the kid's at. So I would say get yourself a carrier like an Ergo or one of those. You just drop that baby in there, and you got a baby Byrne it, and just it's out there hammocking it like a Zach Galifianakis. And
if you trip and fall, it's like a baby airbag.
yeah, it works nice.
Yeah, the baby takes
they'll
the
be
blunt
fine.
of the
Kids are
force, you're
resilient.
fine.
Yeah, your beautiful baby girl she'll take care of it. They're resilient. But no, I would say those, like, you feel like connected with your kids still, and you're out and about, and you still have your arms.
Yes.
Like, you're not worried about that kind of stuff. But number one, get out of the house. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think our favorite thing to do, Jess and I, we just throw Liv or Kent in the stroller and just walk around our neighborhood. And then the child's just seeing everything and receiving everything and all this information. And but the greatest part about 3 months to 6 months to 8 months to 12 months is that just the development of personality that you see. The smile turns into a laugh. The laugh turns into a murmur. The murmur turns into a first
Turns
word.
into a boo. Boo, Dad. Oh, man, I tried.
But I'm telling you, all that is just all those firsts are the greatest. They're the best, like first steps and everything.
For
and
sure. I think that's part of it too. It's a little bit of patience. Like you're going to feel, you're going to feel alone and bored right now because that's what this stage is really for you. Like you have to just be there with the kid. But getting around adults helps too. Getting around other humans helps. So just sitting in your home is not going to help your mental state. Or
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be the goo goo gaga dad at the at the thing, but not to throw it out there, but to throw it out there. Like I know just because of my wife's profession, she does sleep training.
Yes.
So sleep after the 3 month mark is when children are able to get like on a sleep calendar, and it does so much to the baby's mental health and just their bandwidth of sleep is just so important to a young kid, to everybody, right? Everybody, it's a big part of it, but the mental strain that it takes on parents because you're not getting the sleep because the child's not getting the sleep. So it's called My Dreamy Sleeper. That's what my wife does, and she's out there and she gets emotionally invested in all this stuff. But it is
so basically they should talk to your wife, not
they
you.
should talk to my wife, not me. But being privy to it now, I understand like just how much of a baby's health dynamic is rooted in just getting enough sleep, which is something you take for granted. But getting them on that proper calendar. So her name's Jessica Byrne. It's My Dreamy Sleeper. I'm just throwing it out there because organically we're doing this, and she is emotionally invested with every client. I've seen her cry after calls and stuff, and she gets really, really into it, and I'm very proud of her about it. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So, and now because speaking about our frugal,
But she puts
friend,
babies to sleep, and I put
humans
adults to sleep
during
at my
your
shows.
stand-up. Yeah, which you can see Steve Byrne live at punchupcomedy.org. What is it?
It's FreshTowels.net.
Yeah, I would say I would agree with that because sleep, all of it is just like it's all new. It's all new, and you can't help but overanalyze everything too. You're like, I'm just sitting here with it, like it's all new. You'll get in your groove.
But
So,
even yeah. But for the young lady, first off, congratulations
100%.
on having a baby. Second, enjoy every second of it because that was the one thing everybody always told me. Like older folks would be like, any advice? Anybody? They're like, enjoy because it goes by so quick. And you think, oh, okay. And even on those long days where like the baby won't stop crying, you're just like, oh my God, will you just eat or whatever? How many diapers am I going to change today? And you're foggy yourself. Like you think, oh God, I got to get through today. Just like it all does just go by so quickly. And I can't believe my daughter's in junior high school now, and my son is like going to third. It's like, this is nuts. This is crazy. And I miss the days of taking my daughter and just chucking her up to the ceiling and like catching her.
you do it now, you throw your back out.
Oh, I wouldn't even be there. I'd be eating out of a straw. Yeah. So enjoy.
Should be changing your diapers.
Enjoy every second because it does fly. It does fly. It goes by so quick.
Yeah, and I know that's the last thing you want to hear right now too, because she's like, I hate my life. It's miserable. I'm sitting here with this dumb baby that's crying all the time, and I'm sitting in this room and this
Dumb
stupid,
animal.
All I have is this podcast, and this guy's telling me to enjoy it. I just want to fucking punch myself in the face.
My nipples are sore.
Yeah, I got
I
sore
can't-
nipples. I know. We know, but we're telling you, you got this.
You got this. Yeah.
Great.
Power through.
All right, I think we got time for one more.
All right.
One more question. This one comes from Maria. She says, hi, Cool Moms. My boyfriend and I have been together for 10 years and live in a house we bought together.
Ooh, spice it up.
He wants to get married sooner than later, but I want to wait until we're a bit older and can afford a wedding. For context, we're both 25 and 26 and each have well over 50 family members, meaning that if we had a wedding, only the minimum we'd have is 100 or 200 people. I've grown up with a large family weddings and all of my cousins. It's really important to me that I have everyone there. I want it to be a party. I never envisioned my wedding to be small and intimate. I would like your advice. What should we do?
I want to write the boyfriend and just go run. Look, they've been dating since they were 15.
They have a house together.
They're 20. I mean, this
25, yeah.
I mean, I'm all for not. Look, I think I've been very transparent. I'm all for garnering experiences early on in your life. It looks like the record's pressed. We're not changing tunes here. So for the young lady, I would just say, the wedding is as important as, or not as important as to her. It sounds like it is. She wants everybody there, but I've noticed a trend lately. There's a lot more young folks that are getting married at like the courthouse, or they're going to Vegas, and then they're throwing themselves a party, which is the less expensive route. And then I think it's kind of smarter, to be honest with you. I think had my wife and I gone back in time, I think we should have just gone to Vegas and just done it, and then thrown a party for everybody, and then we could go on a trip somewhere.
Yeah.
And
For the
that's
same amount of money.
Yeah.
So her question is what?
It sounds like the boyfriend, it's basically, should they wait till they can afford the wedding?
Or just have a wedding
Yeah,
and get
should
married?
they wait
Gotcha.
till they can afford the wedding and do it the big way that they have to? Because
They're
they
living
both have
together.
big
They're living
families?
together in the same house. They're already living in sin.
Yeah.
What is she worried about? Like, so why just wait until you could have the wedding that you want if you're not rushing to be married?
Right.
If you are in a rush to get married, to either start having children because you don't want to be, out of wedlock, or you want to make sure that you're all together, or if it's like because you want to buy a different house together or progress the relationship, that's a different story. That's only you could answer. From the outside perspective of us, that's all we could do. And I'm saying is like, wait till you can have the wedding you want. Why?
Whatever the priority is, do that.
Yeah. It seems like she has her heart set on having the wedding. Because then the other thing too is she rushes into this marriage with this guy after 10 years. You don't want to rush into anything. You would have got 10 years.
Nothing like a decade to see if it's for you. Yeah.
Trying it on.
But I also think this is an old school mentality. But I went into it with somebody saying, "Hey, it's her day. It's her day." If she wants that song to dance, the first do that, because no guy dreams about his wedding day. I never went to bed at night thinking about my wedding day. I thought about
On the other side, your wedding night.
skydiving or
I thought about your wedding night. Hi-yo!
but I think it's ultimately what do you want? Make that the priority and pursue that. But
Yeah, it sounds like
don't make the family the priority. Don't make
Here's the thing, though. She's got a lot of money on the street right now. She said she has a big family. She's been big family. She's been to a lot of weddings. She's looking to get some of that in return. She wants the boomerang effect. You know the boomerang gift, right? That's why everybody keeps a journal. What'd you throw to me?
Yeah.
I'll throw it right back to you.
You want a rice cooker?
That's it. $250. $250 back to you. What was it? $50, you cheap fuck? Here it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. So she probably is thinking that too. Like, that's a big opportunity to actually get a good run up, get some money to get started with the next thing that they want to do. So, if you're not spending all of it on the wedding.
Or you get married at your house.
Yeah.
People do that.
Yeah.
I went to, one of my buddies did that.
That's fun.
Jiggy, you could do it at your apartment.
Yeah, Jiggy could actually, you know what, and I will marry you guys because I'm a licensed practitioner.
That's definitely not what it's called.
That's not what it's called, but I am
All those elephants hats,
minister.
it was just a ruse.
What's it called?
I'm a preacher, pastor.
You got ordained?
I'm ordained, because I married Mer.
Minister.
I got ordained.
Minister. Yeah,
Right?
you got ordained? Sal got ordained. He married me and Bessie. And then I married Mer and Melissa. And I was also his best man. I wore a lot of hats that day. A lot of hats.
You did the ceremony and the best man.
I did, both.
Wow.
So I said, "Do you have the rings?" I said, "Yes, I do."
Oh, you were waiting on that one.
I
huh?
was.
That's great.
Did you? I could see you being a man of the cloth. Are you a fellow minister?
I was ordained because I did this reality show on NBC called The Real Wedding Crashers, and I had to marry somebody on the air. So I did that, and then my buddy Dave Boland, who won 2 cups with the Chicago Blackhawks, asked me to do his wedding, and they're divorced now. So that I'm 1 for 1.
1 for 1.
Yeah.
1 and 1 or 1 for 1?
I'm 1, not 1 for 1. You're right. I'm 1.
Who's the sports
and 1.
guy now?
1 and 1.
Who's the sports guy now? 1 and 1 on your way to the.
You're the
Superdome.
analytics guy.
That's right. I am. I run the numbers. I'm the guy that slides you the sheet, and you're gonna be like, "Yeah, this is his 437th home run."
Yeah, it's a great responsibility to do that though, because then you wonder how personal do I get, and then how regimented and like stick to the greatest hits. You don't want to think outside the box and go crazy here. So
yeah, but you want to also make it like kind of feel tailored. I remember when Sal did ours, which was good because Sal did ours and he gave us like homework. He met with Bessie Bar. He met with both of us, and he met with Bessie Bar. So met with me, and then he asked us a couple questions to fill out and send to him, which was cool because it makes you think in a different way. And he just said it was cool. He said, "Pour yourself a cup of coffee. Sit down, just write this when you're by yourself." And he told us, just have a cup of tea, just read this and just write whatever you want. And some of the sweetest stuff came out of these prompts that he had. Whatever. And then it was when I had to marry Mer and Melissa. I honestly didn't know Melissa that well, So we went to dinner and we just sat down and we talked. And it was like one of the nicest dinners because you're actually trying to get to know somebody and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
And I knew the story from the perspective of being with my best friend, but I wanted to make sure the wedding had about her too, like a feel of her too, because I was more of the best man than the preacher, you know what I mean? Like the pastor. So, but it's a cool experience as somebody when you're trying to get to know people,
right?
That the conversation leans differently. It's like, tell me about, what do you think about love? Like it was a question I asked. Like I wouldn't ask at dinner. We were just out as friends being like, it's like, it was pretty interesting to get to know somebody fast track like that.
And Mer's wedding was the only wedding you had ever been to where there was a merch stand. Is that correct?
Yes. Just married. Just Murray. We just Murray.
Just Murray t-shirts.
Just Murray.
Yeah.
We got Murrayed. If he doesn't have that t-shirt, he should have it. Call him. It'll be up on tomorrow on his site.
God bless him.
But get married. Yeah. So it was, I really liked the whole process of being, it is a lot of pressure to be the minister, to be the pastor of it, because like the whole vibe of the ceremony part is really does. It does. Like you have to serve up the right thing. So I don't know if I would do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were asked to do it again? If your best friend asks you, of course you're going to do it.
Okay. You're going to get married again? What are you renewing your vows? What are you on an anniversary? You on a big one coming up or no?
We just had one. June 16th. Was our anniversary. It was our 11th via wedding, but
47th together.
15, 15 altogether. And again, like we were sitting there, and we always forget our anniversary.
Well, you're married 11 years.
Yeah.
We're married the
daughter's-
same year.
No, wait.
No, you're not married 11
Hold on,
years.
wait. No, 13 years.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I'm way off.
Edit that out.
13 years.
And 15 together.
13 years, and then 17 together.
13 and 17 together.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what, guys? I'll do him a favor because his wife watches the podcast. Let's redo this. 3, 2, 1. You just had an anniversary, didn't you?
Keep it in. I've been married for
You're not really selling it.
13 years.
You've been married for 13 years?
13
I thought it was
years,
11.
Because I'm like, oh, my daughter's 12, and we got married.
My daughter was at my wedding.
We were married a year. We had our daughter a year afterwards. Yeah. So,
Oh,
yeah.
you got right to business.
Right. Well, we'd been together for 4 years.
Yeah.
So
There's
we
no
thought-
My Dreamy Sleeper that night. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
My sleep number is 69. Hey,
Oh, thank you for listening to Two Cool Moms. It's been wonderful sitting with everybody, helping the people, because that's what
Helping.
it's about.
Helping the peoples,
And
yes.
we appreciate you, twocoolmomspod@gmail.com to send your queries for us to help you. And also follow us on Instagram @twocoolmomspod.
Yes.
He's Steve Byrne. He's on tour. You can find his tickets at...
Punch Up, yeah. And then you're at Cannoli Productions.
No!
It's not on a website. You didn't even finish it.
You go to-
Steve's at Punch... Why is nobody showing up to your show, Steve? I'm at Punch Up. What does that even mean to anybody?
Well, just Google Punch Up. All these comics are on it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All these comics are on, except for some of my best friends that I told about. I'm not going to say who.
I'm at JoeGattoOfficial.com because I can remember the website name.
isn't it
and be able
Cannoli
to-
Productions?
No, it used to be. I upgraded.
Oh, it's all under one house
Under
now.
one house. JoeGattoOfficial.com. Come on through.
There we go. Well, yeah, on tour, grinding the new hour. I'm getting close to film my new one. And on occasion, I'm sure you and I will be hitting the road together.
You should come out. It'll be fun. Jiggy's going to be there.
I will be there.
Featuring Mark Jagarjian.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a pass.
Yeah, I know when I come, I'll be buying dinner. Guys, we'll see you again.
Right there.
These mommies love you, so show us some love.
Please rate us and review us. Follow us on all social media and subscribe to our YouTube.